What's going on, guys? It's Sutek. It's August 4th, 2017. And I wanted to do something a little different today. And I just wanted to appeal to everybody's logic by making this comparison video of high yield, quote unquote, high yield savings accounts versus using BitConnect or Control Finance. Now, here's an article on nerdwallet.com by Gene Lee, and it's about the best high-yield online savings accounts available. Okay, so at top here you have CIT, Premier High Yield Savings, and look at this interest rate. Excuse me, 1.3% APY. So you're getting 1.3% per year on your holdings in the bank. So if you have $1,000, you are getting $13 for an entire year. Chump change. Synchrony High Yield Savings, 1.2% APY. Goldman Sachs Bank, USA, 1.2. Barclays, 1.2. Ally, 1.15. Discover Bank, 1.15. And it just goes down from there. Bank 5 Connect, 0.9% per year. 360 Savings by Capital One, 0.75% per year. And then the stipulations for all of these. So, here's CIT Premier. CIT offers a stellar 1.3% APY on balances of $100,000 or less. If your balance tips over the limit, 1.25. You need a minimum deposit of $100. Goldman Sachs, 1.2%, but no checking account. $1.15%, no minimum fee, but it's still only 1.15% per year. So folks, I'm going to show you how we have to kind of transform our thinking into the future, and we're going to change our banking system to crypto banking and crypto checking. And how you do that is with Control Finance and BitConnect. Now, I've been preaching about these two programs, these two companies a lot, but it's because I believe in them 100%. Totally believe in them because the results speak for themselves. So check this out. You remember the high yield online bank interest rates, right? 1.9%. I'm making 1.25% per day. 1.25% per day versus 1.2% per year. People, it's not even, I mean, it's just logic tell you this is better. It's not even a question. Days in use. So just under 3 weeks. Total profit, $259.40. Now, my original deposit was $110. So I already doubled my money in less than 3 weeks, sorry. 1.25% per day versus 1.2% per year. common sense and logic tells you compounding per day is much better. And let's go over to BitConnect, another fantastic company. Let's look at just their recent interest rates. Now, their interest rates fluctuate, whereas Control Finance is a more stable, fixed interest rate. BitConnect is variable. So this is just the last 30 days, right? $1,000. 30-day term length. And let's calculate. So in 30 days, you'll have made $321 on $1,000. 1.07% per day versus 1.2%, 0.75%, 0.9% per year. 1% per day versus per year. It's simple logic. 1% per day compounded over a year is going to topple 1% per day easily. So I keep repeating that and reiterating that because I want to get that point across, because I don't think a lot of people are understanding necessarily how much money can be made here. I mean, this is life-changing money. I just was contacted by another person in Africa today, as a matter of fact. And he told me that he basically wants to invest in this because he has to pay back debts. So he owes money to somebody or some institution, and he's using this to pay down debts. Now, you could invest his money and do whatever you want with it. Pay down debts, financing a vehicle, gifts for your children. All those type of things are possible with this. And I want to bring back up what I meant to speak about in terms of the new checking accounts being BitConnect, Control Finance, so on. So once you start investing, you get yourself a BitPay card or a Payza card or one of these other Bitcoin debit cards, and you just load the money onto the debit card. And so you take all this interest and you just load it onto your debit card, and that's another banking account. That's a futuristic leaning bank account. So you have your regular, Wells Fargo bank account, whatever other bank accounts people have, Ally Bank, and you also have your BitPay cryptocurrency bank account using interest from Control Finance and BitConnect. Let's take a look at referrals real quick. I'm just trying to enlighten everybody, because this stuff is catching on, but I don't think it's catching on fast enough. Not in the United States, anyway. Around the world, they're catching on very fast. Africa, Asia, South America, Brazil specifically. These countries are catching on really fast. But the United States seems to be lagging behind as far as their adoption of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and trading vehicles, lending vehicles, investment vehicles like BitConnect and Control Finance. So sign up, Control Finance, $10. That's it. You only need $10. most people can spare $10, so it'll be well worth it. You will see results immediately. And BitConnect requires a minimum of $100. So if you want to be a little bit more savvy, you start out with Control Finance and invest $10 and build up to $100. And once you build up to $100, you withdraw that and then you invest in BitConnect. And then you just let it bubble from there. Now, I spoke about this in another video, but if you do not have money and you have great credit, remember how much money I made in just under 3 weeks. Again, I'm going to show you. $259.40. Just under 3 weeks on a $110 deposit. Yes, I have gotten affiliate money, but you use the affiliate program as well as invest, and you use it together, and it makes everything bubble much faster. But if you do not have money to invest, I spoke about in one of my other videos, you can take out a small personal loan using a peer-to-peer lending company like SoFi. I support SoFi. I borrow money from SoFi. So they're great. You know, if you have a 740 or 700 credit score or above, you get a 5% interest rate on a loan of up to $100,000. So you take out a small $10,000 loan, and you'll make all that money back in a month. And you can pay down the loan in a month. I mean, you'll be able to pay it back in no time. So it's just different creative ways to leverage what you have available to you to make more money. And a lot of people do not grasp these concepts, or just believe that, you know, they're scams. But as I said in other previous videos, real estate investors and so many other investors have used these same techniques for years. And it's just the general public that is kind of in the dark about all of these techniques. And I'll be honest, a lot of people are just simply too lazy to learn about these different techniques. You know, they're in certain books, like you get books from the BiggerPockets.com author. I cannot remember his name offhand, but BiggerPockets.com has released a number of books with a lot of these techniques in them. And you can get those books on Amazon.com, BiggerPockets.com. The author has released a number of books, and they have a lot of financial techniques that can be applied to cryptocurrency. You know, for the most part, it's a real estate centered website. And I suggest if you're not on that website, you sign up to BiggerPockets.com forum. It's free to sign up. It costs nothing. And you can ask people questions and they'll answer. I mean, they'll give you free advice. And a lot of those techniques in real estate can be applied to this. So it's all about getting more knowledge and more wisdom and more experience. And soon you'll be making a lot of money. Look at 110, now up to 2125 in 3 weeks. I need to show you guys my BitConnect. BitConnect, I started just under 1 month ago. $35.60 with $900 total earned. So sign up. ControlFinanceInvesting.com. I have the banner in there for BitConnect. I have the button in there for Control Finance. I also have a button for Coinbase. If you do not have a Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Litecoin wallet, Coinbase is available. They're also going to start using Bitcoin Cash. So jump on that. And guys, have a great weekend. I'll probably make another video tomorrow, but if I don't, have a great weekend.